You tune into the Iceman Show. If you are not following me yet on Twitter or Instagram, I'm at Mr. Freeze at the Iceman Show with Twitter, and Instagram is the Iceman Show. So follow me for weekly updates and goings on. If you haven't got my new book entitled The Game of Life According to the Iceman Volume 1, you can go to Amazon and get it, or you can get a autographed paperback copy of The Game of Life According to the Iceman Volume 1 at asktheiceman.com. Just go to asktheiceman.com, scroll down to add to cart, and then they'll tell you what to do from there. And then once I get the email alert from PayPal, then I'll go ahead and send your book out. You should get your book within a week. Should be about a week. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about, this is a show topic raised by one of my new subscribers. And by the way, I appreciate your subscription and also your donation last month. Really appreciate it. What we're doing right now with the nonprofit is we're getting ready for the summer. So what usually happens with nonprofits at this point, what we do is we start raising money for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we start getting the backpacks for Christmas, for the fall for school, the backpacks. We start getting clothes and all in school supplies for the children starting fall of this year, fall 2018. So that's what we do. So that's what your donation is going to. One of the reasons I have moved to different cities is, it might seem unorthodox to the average person, but it's really not. Because Minneapolis is a good city. But I felt like I was, even though I have my home office there for my business, it's running to the point where I don't need to be there. I don't need to live in Minneapolis anymore. Minneapolis has changed. And it's changing for the worse. And what I mean by that, ladies and gentlemen, is this. They're trying to turn Minneapolis into this hipster, young Caucasian driven city. And that is something that I don't want to be a part of. I don't want to be a part of that. When I first moved to Minneapolis in the early 2000s, it was a medium size, when we're talking about Minneapolis and St. Paul. Okay? Even though I don't have too many dealings over on the St. Paul side the last few years, Minneapolis is a more vibrant city than St. Paul. St. Paul's kind of rural, and it's older, and it's more industrial looking. You got a lot of industrial companies on that side of the river. So I never had any interest of moving to St. Paul because of that. Even their downtown is boring. Yeah, they have a couple clubs over there. They have a couple clubs that have some pretty decent stuff popping off Friday and Saturday nights. But, I don't always want to go see a live band, because the live band that plays at this one joint on the St. Paul side is, man, They're a whack ass band. But there's other bands that cats that I know that play over there too. So they're not the only band that plays over there. But anyway, Minneapolis has some fine ass women. It's some bad women that live in Minneapolis. Um, but it had that small town feel, and now it's got that. They trying to turn it into this. You got all these young whites moving in with uh, all these tats and all these little micro breweries popping up, and they bought all the old bars that all the old heads that I used to hang out with. They're buying up all those bars and turning them into these old hipster places. Because what Minneapolis did is they brought a lot of corporations to Minneapolis, and especially in the medical field, and you got a lot of RNs that have moved to Minneapolis. So it for me, that's cool, but a lot of these women are younger than I care to date. I really don't want to date anybody lower than about 30. And the atmosphere just ain't the same. Even a couple of the old bars that me and my cousins and some of his friends that all of us used to hang out at, some of those bars, they don't even have the same clientele that they used to have. It's just it's just hella different. And so I started thinking, hey, you know what? I don't want to be here anymore. One of my older cousins that lived there, I met, me and him, he got cancer, so we weren't really hanging out like we used to. He has, now he's, rendered, and I'm not going to get into, deeply into his medical history, but, he got prostate cancer, and I think you can pretty much decipher what happens when you get your prostate taken out. Your Jimmy just don't work like it used to. Matter of fact, it don't work at all according to him. But anyway, so he ain't really the same person that he used to be. I think he's bored. I think he's dealing with a little depression. I don't think he's as outgoing as he used to be, and I think for him, he's just like the same person. So it really ain't no fun. It really ain't that fun to hang out with him. So when I saw that, and then I saw how the city was changing and how they it was getting more racist, because Minneapolis is racist. Now, there's a very large Hmong and Chinese residents that live on the St. Paul side. And there's been some shootings of young Asian men, young Hmong men from Laos. And when I say Hmong, I mean Hmong, Hmong. And so there's a large Hmong population and Chinese population that live on the St. Paul side, and they mess with them. They shoot them just like they shoot blacks. Okay, and yeah, you got some street dudes. Some of these Asian cats, they some street dudes. They got gangs over there. And they got some things going on, but that's still not a reason for the police to mess with them. Just like it ain't a reason for them to mess with, shoot blacks. And I don't know if you guys heard about this, but a Australian Caucasian woman was killed by a oh. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Mm-hmm. No, that was yesterday. Yeah, it was about they probably did it about 5:45 something like that yesterday evening. There was a guy standing out there, guy that and I've seen him before. He has a suburban. There was some kids out there, but they were standing right near them. These kids, I actually saw these guys. So for them to, of course they're going to deny that it was them, but I didn't. They had the same clothes on when they came out, and it was the same kids. No, they were right like where your maintenance that door goes up. They were about right there when I saw them. Because I ran out and I saw them running, and then I said, okay, maybe it wasn't them. And then I went over there and looked in the parking lot, and I didn't see anybody. Then I came by the time I was coming back around, they were walking around the office or up the ramp there to the sidewalk, and they were huffing and puffing like they had been running. And I said, hey, did you guys just kick my door? And they just the looks on their faces told me they were surprised that I saw them do. Well, I didn't see them do it, but that I figured it was them. And like I said, they've kicked my door. They've kicked my door before, and they're probably kicking other people's door. They're probably maybe they're not home. I don't know, but yeah. No, I asked them. No, I asked them. I asked them. I said, "Did you kick my door?" And they were like, "No, we didn't kick your door." Okay. No, I didn't curse at them. I have no reason to curse at them. Well, the thing is, I figured this would probably happen. So, like I said, the next time it happens, then I'll just call the police and just have send the sheriff over there because my thing is if I'm paying my rent and I'm not bothering anybody, I don't expect anybody to make me. That makes me feel unsafe when people do that kind of stuff. And this is the first apartment I've ever lived in where kids are just running around unsupervised, kicking people's doors. Yeah, but they should have some manners, and they should have their parents should be watching them. Their parents should be aware of what they're doing. Right, I understand that. Right. But they weren't coming from Dutch Brothers when I saw them. They were coming around the office because they try to make it like they didn't come from where my apartment building is. So, like I said, of course they're going to deny it, and I deny it too. But the thing is that I might not. The next person's door they may kick might not handle it the same way I do. So, and the thing is, The thing is, I should be, I should feel, the whole day I was stressed out after that. So this is right, but the thing is, if you're implying that it's okay for kids to go around and be mischievous, and you said they're being kids, you said they're just being kids. I don't mind them being kids, but being kids doesn't mean they're going to be kicking, going around knocking or kicking people's door because they're kicking it pretty hard. Okay, well that's fine. I'll just handle it my way then, because like I said, I'm not going to be made to feel like this is an unsafe place for me to be. I have some extraordinary things that that I've experienced in life that may not be something that you're accustomed to. So when somebody does something like that to me, then that makes me feel like you're attacking me. So it may not, it may, it, no, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about them kicking my door. Okay, somebody kicking my door or knocking on my door and running, doing that kind of stuff, or because I don't know what they're doing. So if they do that, then I have to handle it whatever way I got to handle it. And I would rather not get the sheriff involved. But if they do that again, then I'm gonna have to do what I got to do. And I don't want to be made to feel like I'm the bad guy because I confronted somebody's children doing the wrong thing. Because that's what I feel like that's happening here. Because the thing is, so were you accusing me of cursing some kids out? Okay, well the thing is, they should have an understanding they can't go around messing with people and interrupting people's lives because they want to. There's nothing for them to do over here. That doesn't give them the right to do that. Okay, I understand. I understand. Yeah, oh yeah, I wanted at least for them to be talked to, at least that because I have dealt with managers and yeah, because I've dealt with managers in the past that they're just there to collect the rent, and that's it. You go in there, hey, I need this done, that done. Oh yeah, okay, we'll take care of it. Next thing you know, those people are still doing what they're doing. So my thing is, I'm here to just bring it to your attention. Okay, I understand. Mhm. I understand. Like I said, the thing is, the next time they do it and they get in trouble, and their mother's out there crying because the sheriff's talking to them about, what they did, then that's on her. That's not on you. That's on them. Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. I hope so. All right. All right. Thank you. Sorry about that interruption, guys. Anyway, Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, is a good place to live, but it's changed so much, and they're trying to cater to younger people. And when you cater to younger people, and people my age who are middle aged, that's going to cause a problem. Okay, that's going to cause a major problem. Okay, it's going to cause a major problem. And people like me who have the power and the money to relocate, we're going to relocate. So at this point in time, I don't want to live there. I don't want to live in Minneapolis, St. Paul, because they're them catering to these yuppies and these hipsters, which really means Caucasian folks. And if you're a black person or Asian person or Latino person that doesn't necessarily like that kind of crowd, well then you're kind of put in a position where you just got to deal with it, which I don't think that should be the case. I don't think that's fair to other that doesn't, that just makes me feel like, okay, these people don't give a damn. They're just trying to make some money. So you know what happens? You know what's going to happen in Minneapolis in a few years? Once these hipsters get old and these gastro pubs and all this other kind of stuff plays out, you know what's going to happen? A lot of those businesses are going to go out of business, just like those old bars that were there when I got there, almost 20 years ago. Those places are going to, after a while, there's some new kind of thing is going to pop up, and they're going to they're going to come up with something else. And when they come up with that something else, people are not going to frequent those places, because if you only cater to young people, those young people are not going to stay old forever. They're not going to stay old forever. And even some of the people that I know that still live in Minneapolis, I talk to every now and then, even when I talk to some of my employees, they say, you know what, man, this place is really changing, and it's starting to get more cutthroat. Because like I said, again, Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities is, to me, when I first got up there, it was like a big, small city. Everybody knew everybody. People were, laid back. People like to hang out. And I'm not much. I've never been a big drinker, but that's what people do in the Midwest. They go drink. They go to watering holes. I don't have a problem with that. San Antonio, I have roots in San Antonio because I started the military. I started my military career there. So but I got family that live in San Antonio too. San Antonio is a different kind of animal. It's a southern city, but you got a lot of transient folks in there, and most of the probably, I would say 50% of the residents in San Antonio are from somewhere else. They're transplants. They're either there to work for the federal government, or they're there to be in the military. Very few of them are there to go to school at some of the universities around there. Anyway, San Antonio doesn't have a whole lot of Asian people. There's not a lot of black people. It's 65% Latino, which really means that the majority is Mexican Americans. The other contingent is, Central Americans. San Antonio's a different kind of animal. San Antonio is kind of funky to me. And in that, the Riverwalk, I don't know if you guys have ever been to San Antonio. You should visit San Antonio. The Riverwalk is beautiful. It's great. I love it. Okay? The whole downtown Riverwalk thing is popping. I love it. The only thing I don't like about San Antonio, most of the people in San Antonio have no class. I'm talking about the people who are from San Antonio. I'm not talking about the military cats or the federal employees. I'm talking about the Latinos that live around there, that are from there. They have no class. I posted on my Facebook page how the last apartment complex I lived at, they had all this trash piled up, and these low class people, instead of breaking down boxes that can be recycled, here they are throwing that stuff in the trash. You dig? They just throw stuff in the trash. And so the trash would get filled up as soon as the trash truck will come and empty out all the dumpsters. And they're just low class. They just have their dogs crapping all over the place. They'll sit up there and have all their, they'll be in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, and there'll be 10 people living in there. And we ain't talking about Latinos who are fresh over across the river, the Rio Grande. These are Mexican Americans that have lived in this country all their lives, and they just have no class. I'm just telling it like it is. They have no class. They have absolutely no class. And I was always at odds with them because of that. Because they would, have their dogs crapping in front of my apartment, and I have to tell on them, or they'll sit up here and have they'll have their dogs crap in front of your apartment. Their kids are running all around, not being supervised, throwing stuff off the balcony. They just act like animals. And no matter where you live in San Antonio, with the exception of maybe Stone Oak, which is North Central, and I really didn't want to move over there because I didn't want to be around a lot of old racially prejudiced Caucasian folks. I don't mind being around, I like being around everybody. I like being in a city where you got Asians, you got blacks, you got Caucasian people, you got ethnic people. Like where I live at, near Portland. I'm not too far from Portland, and we got a lot of Russian people here. It's a lot of Russians here, and like I said, I like being around a different contingent, a diverse population. And I'm probably about 100 miles from I'm probably a little more than 110, 120 miles from Seattle. And Seattle's a huge city. Seattle's beautiful. I like the marina and all that. I'm gonna go up there and party, but right now, man, I got a lot going on at the crib. I gotta write these songs. I gotta finish my second book, The Dating Bible. I'm pondering shooting a documentary style video in accordance with the book. And I'm thinking about doing crowdfunding. I want to get you guys' perspective on whether or not you guys would support a crowdfunding thing, because what I would do is go do a DVD, do a documentary and instructional series on how to talk to women and how women should talk to men. And that's going to cost a few dollars. The camera that I'm looking to get is about $9,000. So what I'm doing right now, I have the money to get the camera. I'm just trying to get feedback from everybody and see how would they support it. I've gotten a few emails from guys saying, "Hey man, you should, if you do that instructional video, let me know, because I'll support it." So the feedback has been pretty positive on doing an instructional video. So let me know what y'all think, man. Shoot me an email. Let me know how y'all think about that. Anyway, San Antonio, I just got tired of San Antonio. I've outgrown San Antonio. I'm the kind of person, and I know this sounds like I'm kind of unstable, but I'm really not. I just don't like once I outgrow a place, I gotta move. And San Antonio is a big city. They're the 7th largest city in the country. But if you would live there, you would know it, because most of the city is just caters to poor people. If you go to the central part of the city where I used to live at back in the day, the central part of the city used to be cool. It used to be cool to live over there. You're about 5-10 minutes from downtown. You can get over to Stone Oak. You can get over to North Central quickly. Now you go over to that part of the city, and there's, they got a bunch of hood rats over there now. All you see over there is hood rats. Latino and black and Caucasian hood rats. So no, I don't want to live in North Central. I don't want to live in Central San Antonio. Alamo Heights is a city unto itself, and that's pretty much a closed society. That's where all the rich people live. And I wasn't going to try to move over in there, although they do have apartments in there. But I know I wouldn't get along with them people either. Like I said, most of what San Antonio has to offer as far as entertainment is just not what I'm looking for right now. And the weather is just too hot. San Antonio's too hot. It's just too hot, man. I can't deal with San Antonio during the summer. It's doing from about end of May to October, it's like 100. It's like ranges from about 80, 90, about 90 to about 105, 110. And I was like, nope, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work for me. It just wasn't what I was looking for long term, because I was thinking about buying a house there. But and then too, they have a lot of home invasions, a lot of crime. A lot of it's just not. It's changed. It's changed. A lot of crime, just a lot of nastiness, a lot of home invasions, and even in nice neighborhoods, they're breaking in people's houses. They're going over to Stone Oak, where all these $500,000, $1 million houses, they're stealing, packages off their porches and all that kind of stuff when Amazon delivers or anybody else. So it's just not the place that it used to be. And I can't deal with that. That's just not what I'm looking for. And so first time I went up to Portland and Seattle was last year in October. And I had never been to the Northwest because I felt like there was nothing for me to see up there. I didn't want to be up there where it's raining all the time. I didn't see that as a vacation destination. But then I took a leap of faith, and I instead of flying, I drove, because I like to drive, because I like to stop in different cities and look around. And I go to some of the, I go a lot of the military bases. I go to the Air Force bases. I always go to Air Force bases when I got time to do it or I feel like doing it. So I'll go to the military bases and hang out. That's how I roll. And anyway, I get up there and I'm blown away. I'm like, oh, it's beautiful up here. Seattle's a pretty diverse city. I don't know that much about Seattle, but I do know people that live there. Just like I know a couple of people that live in Portland. And Portland's a cool city, but they got a lot of gentrification going on here too. Now, I live on the Washington side, and it's more old white folks, just low class, middle class, there's a lot of silver foxes, man. Just a lot of old white chicks, man. I'm just like not feeling the gray headed old flabby white women type. I don't do that. I don't do flabby white women. And so again, I've had to go back to dating younger women. So as soon as these women, when like today, I went to Albertsons up here off of I-5, and I go up there and there's this Hispanic chick that's the cashier, and looking at her, I could tell 20 years ago she was popping. And I guarantee she wouldn't have talked to no black men back then. But here I come through the line and she's like, "Ooh, you're too old to be retired. You look too young to be retired." She said, "Ooh, you work out." And she was trying to throw me some action. And I was just like, she was still good look. She was a good looking woman in her 50s. Because she asked, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm in my mid 50s. She said, "So am I." And she was a nice looker. For her age, she was nice looking. But, I'm the kind of guy I'm going to talk about this in the Dating Bible in my second book. Guys, I don't talk to women right off the bat. I'm not that dude. If I see somebody that I'm attracted to, I might come back through her line maybe 2 weeks from now if I need to get something at that store, because I don't really shop at Albertsons because they're too expensive. And so I'll go back in there and I'll holler at her at another time. Just right now, I'm just not going to be, I ain't that dude to be pressing up on no chick. I don't do that. I don't beg women for nothing. I don't go around beg for no woman for her number or beg to get next to her. I just don't do that. That's just not my thing. I don't do that. That's not my get down. What I suggest to you young guys is that if you're looking for a city around America, you got to look at, especially if you're in your 20s and you ain't married and got kids, you have to look at, number one, you got to look at cost of living. If you're doing okay financially, you're making 50, 60, 70 grand a year, you could pretty much live anywhere. But you want to live somewhere where your money's going to go the longest and the farthest. And Portland's a little more expensive than this little town that I live in. I live in a small town. I'm probably about 20 or 30 minutes from Portland. So I'm on the Washington side. And Washington is a beautiful state. The amount of Washington that I've seen so far, it's beautiful. I love it. But it's not perfect. There's a lot of racism up here. And, these people are not the kind of folks that, they'll, call you the N-word and run or whatever, or call you the C-word or whatever. They're the kind of people that they're going to grin in your face and then turn around and stab you in the back. It's what we call in Minnesota nice. But you have to look at how far is your money going to go. The second thing you got to look at is socially, especially if you're under 30 or you're 30 and if you're single, cool. What you have to look at is, what does this place have to offer me socially? If you're kind of a nerd, I call myself half nerd, half street guy. I'm nerdy enough to sit down, and I know computers. I can play around with computers, and I'm pretty proficient. I won't say I'm expert level, but I'm probably a little under being an expert working with computers. And sometimes I don't want to be social, but then there's those times when I do. So if you're a social cat and you're kind of nerdy, a place like Portland or Seattle is a good city to be in because it's tech heaven. Plus, we're not that far from Silicon Valley. I'm 500, 400, 300, 400, probably about 350 miles from Silicon Valley. If that, I could hop on a plane and be in, Silicon Valley in an hour. Just fly into San Francisco International Airport, which is a beautiful airport, by the way. Love San Francisco. I love San Francisco. I'm going to go down there and hang out. But right now, man, I'm cool. Being an older cat, I don't need to go out and chase no women. I'm not into that no more. I'm trying to get this paper. So you got to look at a city that's going to take your money the farthest, has a social life, has a social structure that's going to provide entertainment for you, comedy clubs, nice bars where there are good-looking women hanging out. The next thing you want to look at is, because you want to go, cost of living, social life. The third thing you gotta look at is housing. Where do you want to live? I guess that's kind of part of cost of living. I live in a kind of a rural area, so other than what you heard on that call, some things happened yesterday that kind of pissed me off. With some little pissy butt kids that live here in the complex. That's rarity. That's rare stuff. But Portland has really beautiful mall. They got a beautiful mall called Washington Square. I drive down there. It takes me about 45 minutes to get down there. And Beaverton, like the east part, west part, western Portland is pretty cool. West Portland is pretty cool. East Portland, northeast, it's kind of hoodish. Got a lot of Hispanics, got a lot of poor whites and poor blacks that live over there. I'm not trying to live over there. I'm probably not gonna stay here forever. I'm eventually probably gonna buy a house, but I'm weighing my options. I'm weighing my options right now. But for right now, the Northwest is popping. I like it up here. It's it's a cool environment. The rain, every now and then the rain gets on my nerves. But for the most part, I don't really mind the rain. It's just that when it rains every day, that's when I'm kind of like, I'm sick of this. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, man, I got turntables. I got music equipment in here. Like I said, I got an album to write. So, I got to get, I'm not really out there in them streets like that. I don't really need to go party nowhere and all that kind of stuff. That's not really my get down anymore. Now 5 years ago, yeah, I was still out there in them streets. But I ain't really out there in them streets like that today. Hopefully this will shine some light on what you guys want to do as far as living around the country. I've lived in Atlanta too. I didn't like Atlanta. I didn't like Atlanta. Atlanta's too big. The people are too country and ignorant. Even the so-called college educated ones are just ignorant and they got a one-track mind. If you ain't talking about church, you ain't talking about all that kind of nonsense, they don't want to deal with you. I don't like Atlanta. That's one city that I will tell you from the outset. I don't suggest anybody move there unless you got a job set up that's paying bank, or you got something set up with the entertainment industry. Other than that, I wouldn't waste my time in Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta's got a lot of it's got a lot of diversity there now. Every kind of woman you want to date is there. Yeah, it's cool in that regard, but that's it. It's too big. It's expensive. The food is sky high. There's too much crime in Atlanta. There's a lot of home invasions. These crazy idiots, they'll just kick down your door and come in your house. That's how crazy they are in Atlanta. And the crime is moving outward. It's moving outward into the suburbs where I used to live at. I used to live 40 miles from downtown Atlanta. And that crime was steadily coming out there. So I didn't like Atlanta. The only reason why I was in Atlanta is because of my kids. That's the only reason why I was there anyway. But find a place that you feel you can be you. Find a place that is going to give you the social life and the career longevity that you're looking for. If you own your own business, that's even better. See, because I own two businesses, I can move anywhere in the country and live. It's no big deal. And so living here in this area, it's been very good. It's been very good for me so far. Find a place that you really like, that you really enjoy, and go from there. And leave me your comments. Let me know what's popping off. Love to hear from you guys. Let me know if you want, if you think it's a good idea that I do an instructional video on dating for you young cats. Let me know. Send me an email or leave a comment. Take care. This is the Iceman. Holler at your boy.